Alright, what's up guys? We've got a busy day today, so met up with Jesse and Ricardo, videographer, and then also you guys know Jesse. We're here at one of my buddy's listings. We're getting some eyes on it. We're going to drive around the city. This is a city we bought a couple buildings in, give you a behind the scenes look at kind of our thought process on acquiring buildings. We're going to do some cold calling. We're going to scout out some buildings to look at that we might buy. Also got an appointment with a seller in his building. He's thinking about either listing it with us for sale, maybe having us lease it, or he might sell it to us. So that's what we're working on, and we're gonna bring you guys along with us today. We're driving around right now. We're looking at different properties. I just got an appointment with a seller. Like I said, it came from an Instagram lead, which is pretty cool. He wants to sell his building. He had been lowballed around 30 bucks a foot, which is, yeah, 30 bucks a foot is lowball in this market. So if you could buy something for $30 to $40 a foot, that's really good. We've been buying stuff around $43 a foot, and if you can get that, it's good because you can go turn around and lease it for $6. So right now we're kind of just driving around. Just got done with the appointment. We're driving around the area. We have a couple buildings we want to drive by that we're looking at trying to buy. All industrial stuff. We closed on Bethel
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So a building, 10,000 square foot building, we closed 2 weeks ago, and we're gonna have to try to find a tenant. So we're gonna drive past that building, drive past some of our other buildings we bought, and check on them.
So as we're driving around, something that I always am guilty of is like assuming that this property is not for sale, assuming that this property is something that like somebody already has, or just any kind of assumption that you have, right? Don't assume. If you see something,
you know what happens when you assume, right?
You make out of you and me. Typically when we're driving for dollars, we already know what we're looking for, but if you see something that looks vacant or has a for lease sign on it that looks like it's from like an owner instead of like a broker, that's like the perfect target to say, okay, let me call this owner, let me see what's going on, let me get the story. Like we're driving past one right now.
They're pressure washing it right now.
Now. So let's give them a call. I'm gonna land glide it. And if you have CoStar, you can also like try to like call them immediately. I try to call everything on this street.
Yeah, but for people who don't know, LandGlide is a tool you can use to just look at parcel information. It's like a GIS, which is like every city has its own GIS, which is like geographical information system, but basically it's where you can find all the real estate records. Every city has a different one. If you get LandGlide, it's like basically one unified one, so it doesn't matter what city or county you're in. It's a lot easier to get information that way. And then CoStar is a tool the brokers use. It's basically like the commercial MLS. Something to do, like if you pick a market, like we weren't necessarily planning to pick this market, but we started cold calling because the company we work with owns several buildings in this market. So we're like, well, if they're buying here, let's start cold calling here, try to find them some deals. So we just started buying stuff here. We bought 3 in the last year with just me and Jesse. And from that, it created so much action. Momentum, yeah. Like we bought 3, and then next thing you know, we're touring buildings because people have seen that we've bought stuff. We've been cold calling more. And you have more authority when you call someone and say, hey, we just bought 3 buildings in this area. Yep. They're going to take you a lot more seriously than if you didn't.
And then didn't you get a call from a broker say, hey, I saw you bought a building in this area.
Yeah.
And send us another deal.
Yeah. So that all works. The appointment I went on earlier was from Instagram. We were running an ad for one of the spaces we had for lease in this area. We targeted area. Yep. So like we had it set for like a 2-mile radius. You know, we got connected to that broker. I mean, it's really, I don't want to say it's not hard. It's hard work, but it's not rocket science. It's like easy stuff. You just got to make cold calls. You got to get out there. You got to shake things. I think they call it like what, shake the bushes or whatever. As an investor, one of the biggest things you look at is replacement cost. Like how much would it cost to build a 10,000 square foot steel building? You got to buy the land. You got to put up the steel. You got to put on the roof. You have to look at all the components like finishing the office. You have to do the HVAC. That costs a lot of money. Nowadays, people are building that stuff for $150, $160 per foot. Everything commercial is by the foot. At least. So we're buying it for $45 a foot. So we're buying it for a fraction of the cost of what it costs to build. So that's one indicator, like a very good indicator of value. This next area is so clean, dude.
This is the building that we saw that was getting power washed. This is just what it's on CoStar. I didn't really look too much into it. may not ring. It might go right to the owner. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately how it goes sometimes with CoStar.
Not goes to anything. Most of the time, that's going to be what happens.
See if this goes to Mr. Burton or not.
That's a clean building.
It is. It's ringing.
For some builders, this is Martha.
Yeah, I was looking to talk to Mr. Burton.
May I ask who's calling?
Yeah, my name's Jesse.
I'm sorry?
My name's Jesse.
Okay, may I ask what this is in regards to?
He owns a few buildings over here, and I'm an investor. Just wanted to have a conversation with him.
Okay, let me see if he's available.
Thanks so much.
The owner of the other building we bought that's 18,000 feet, he's got a building down here that we really want to buy in Archdale. It's 16,000 feet. We got that other building on seller finance, so we want to get this one on seller financing. The problem is he signed a lease with a tenant at a very under market rate, and he locked him in for a whole nother year. And he said, I was talking to him about it, and he was like, yeah, I can't sell you that building because my seller financing payment wouldn't make any sense with that. He's like, because of the lease. And I was like, okay, well, let us renegotiate the lease. And then he signed another year lease. Didn't make any sense. We made an offer to this guy. So me and Jesse toured this building. It's 10,000 feet. It's in really rough shape. They have not maintained it.
Brutal.
At all.
Oh.
And yeah, it's not in good shape at all. But the guy wants to sell it. He's older, he inherited it, he wants to get rid of it. And I walked in there and I was like, this guy probably just wants some monthly income, because he was talking about how his business was not doing well. So I was like, if we offered this guy like payments, like seller financing, and just gave him some monthly income, he'd probably, sell the building and walk away. So I asked him, I was like, would you take payments? He's like, I would take payments. I was like, okay, cool. So we made him an offer, seller financing. I think the payment to him was gonna be like $500 or $600 a month. And he called us back and he was like, hey man, I like this structure, but in order for me to live, I would need probably like $1,000 a month. He's like, I don't live, anything fancy, but I need probably about $1,000 a month. So basically what he was saying is exactly what I thought. We just need to replace like his business income.
Yep.
So we said, okay, we can do $1,000 a month. So we adjusted the offer, adjusted the numbers to make it to where he'd be getting $1,000 a month for his building, and we'd get the building seller financed. And he actually told us, I don't want any money up front because I'm gonna have to pay taxes on it. So we're literally gonna give him, what was it, $5,000 down or less?
We're gonna give him $1,000 down.
Yeah, $1,000 down, and he's just gonna get $1,000 a month payments
Yep.
for his building. And we were like,
100%.
that's insane, that's nuts. So we basically agreed on terms and stuff, but he was like, you know what, I want to wait a little bit because he's sentimentally attached to the building. So we're waiting to hear back from him on that one.
It'd be a crazy deal.
Be a crazy deal. But the beauty of these deals is on seller financing, you can put in a clause called substitution of collateral, which basically means you can keep the debt. So we can get super cheap debt, essentially a note for a certain amount, however much you buy the building for, with 3% interest. It's going to be $1,000 a month for 15 years or whatever it is. And we could actually go sell the building, take the cash from the sale of the building, buy another building, and substitute the collateral. So basically he's still protected because basically his note is tied to that building. So if we defaulted, he gets the building back. But if we sell the building, he doesn't have any collateral. So we go and buy another building of equal or greater value and use the cash that we got from selling it to buy the new building, and then now his note is attached to that new building. That's how substitution of collateral works. It took me a long time to grasp that concept, but it basically means you can buy, a crappy building or whatever it may be, fix it up, do whatever you need, sell it to someone else, cash out, and go buy another building and have super, super good debt.